Is this the end? Super Bowl 51 weekend, February 4 to 5, 2017. Please pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. And we ask that you would guide this time, that your presence would be here with us, that every work of the enemy would be cast down, that your name and your word would be glorified. And Lord, that your people's eyes would be opened, that you would give wisdom and understanding, and that you would allow and help everyone who desires to be prepared, who understands what is being presented and seeks to be prepared accordingly. I ask that your name would be glorified and that you would be blessed amongst your people. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Is this the end? Okay, I want to go over real quickly the timelines of Daniel to show you how we have come to February 4th. Okay, the first thing we need to see is that the biblical revelation has brought us to February 4th and 5th, 2017. And then from there, we have the proofs or the evidence on their side, okay, of what they have shown. And so I'm bringing this forth. The understanding of this starts in Matthew 24:15, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet. Okay, so we are led to the book of Daniel. And it's through Daniel 9:24 through 27 we can understand the abomination of desolation. And in Daniel 9:24 and 25, it says 70 weeks are determined from the order to restore Jerusalem. So we need to find that. And as we go along, if everything is in place, then everything will build upon each other and there will be no biblical contradictions. Okay? And so what we have to find is the beginning of the 70 weeks. Okay, the Palestinian partition plan was the order to restore Jerusalem, November 29th, 1947. 1947 plus 70 is 2017. Then in Daniel 9:25, it says, from the order to restore Jerusalem, there will be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. So we have 69 years from 1947, 2016. Now, the division of Jerusalem, here is a huge, right at the beginning here, a huge confirmation. 69 years to the day, just as Daniel 9:24 through 25 says, that from the order to restore Jerusalem, there will be 69 weeks or years. Okay, the division of Jerusalem happened on November 29th and 30th, 2016, 69 years to the day from the order to restore Jerusalem. Okay. Then we have Daniel 9:26 and 27. It says, after 62 weeks, there shall be a covenant with many for 1 week. Okay. And so we have 1947 plus 62 is 2009 would be the year of the covenant. Okay. Obama Nobel Peace Prize nomination, October 9th, 2009, and the Nobel Peace Prize award, December 10th, 2009. Okay. Now the confirmation of this resolution, 2334 in the UNSC, the Obama Nobel Peace Prize Award December 10th, 2009. The Division of Jerusalem in the Security Council, December 23rd, 2016. Both dates are 23 Kislev on the Hebrew calendar. Okay, so we have 7 years to the day from the Obama Nobel Peace Prize on the Hebrew calendar, 23 Kislev, 7 years to the day, the division of Jerusalem. These two items here are incredible confirmations to everything else that is being shared. So please use this as a motivation to continue following this study and to be able to come to the full understanding. Okay, and then it says, in the middle of the week there shall be an abomination of desolation. October 9th, 2009 plus 1260 days is March 22nd, 2013. There were all kinds of signs on March 22nd. Obama was in Israel. He was at the holy place in Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus Christ. He was with President Abbas from Palestine in Bethlehem. And it's the Palestinians who defiled the same place and took it by force, fulfilling the prophecy from Daniel 11:30 and 31. Okay, the place of the sanctuary that they took by force and defiled. Obama went into that same location with the Palestinian president. Okay, that was part of the abomination event. Then they signed an alliance. Obama signed the unbreakable alliance with Israel. Okay, but that alliance that was unbreakable is now breakable because the Israel was divided. Okay, and then on that same exact day there was a meteor 666 from the American Meteor Society, statues displayed in Israel of Barack Obama against Torah law, many other signs, and then on March 23rd Obama went to Petra. That's another sign of the Antichrist prophecy, Petra. Okay, then it says Daniel 12:11, from the abomination there shall be 1290 days. March 22nd, 2013 plus 1290 days, October 2nd, 2016. From the 30th of September to the 3rd of October, there were many signs, okay? The first sign was the funeral of Shimon Peres, 70 world leaders in Israel on September 30th. Then on October 1st, we had the Chinese yuan was introduced as the new reserve currency. Okay, and that is a very huge worldwide item. And then the internet control was transferred to the United Nations. And this was also the Shemitah Jubilee Feast of Trumpets. Okay. Then, blessed is he who waits and comes to the 1,335 days. And March 22nd plus 1,335 days is November 16th, 2016. Okay, this is day 1,335. It's the beginning of the Revelation 12 sign as Jupiter enters Virgo. It was the 17th day of the second month, the day the flood began. And it was an executive order came out for peace and safety, and there was authorization to mobilize the UN military to promote worldwide peace and security. November 16th. Okay. Also, Obama was in Berlin, the home of the Pergamus altar throne of Satan. Okay. This was the key date in everything that we had, and then we found that Obama was going to be in Berlin. Okay, we didn't see anything happen there. We didn't know what that was, but we were following the signs, wondering what was going to be happening with Obama in Berlin. Okay, so we have our key dates. These are all revealed from the Bible. November 29th, 1947, order to restore Jerusalem. We've got our two dates on the Obama Nobel nomination and award. We've got the abomination of desolation, March 22nd, 2013. And then we have October 2nd, 2016, Feast of Trumpets. And then we have day 1335, November 16th, 2016. Okay. Now, day 1335, November 16th was 2016 was the birth, okay? And when I first saw this and saw it coming down, the day of Noah's flood, the exact day count, and Jupiter entering into Virgo, I mean, like, this had to be it, right? This was, to me, this seemed so solid, and I thought that was the end, okay? I thought November 16th would be the end. But since November 16th, okay, we've had three major events that have occurred, okay? November 30th was the vote to divide Jerusalem in the General Assembly. That was 69 years to the day from the 1947 Order to Restore. On December 23rd, okay, Resolution 2334 was allowed to pass in the UNSC, the Security Council, 7 years to the day from the Obama Nobel Award on the Hebrew calendar, 23 Kislev, 7 years separating the two. Now, here's an important detail for those who still try to think that the Nobel Peace Prize is not the covenant with many, okay? Here's a very important detail. The Nobel Prize is awarded through the United Nations. So if there's going to be a world leader chosen and raised up through the United Nations, okay, and one that came in peaceably, then it's through the United Nations that this Nobel Peace Prize award was given. And then they chose Barack Obama for the Peace Prize, which led to the division of Jerusalem 7 years later to the day. All of this happened through the United Nations, okay? All right. Then another thing that happened was January 15th, 2017, 70 nations conspiring against Israel in Paris, France, fulfilling Luke 21:20, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by their enemies. Okay, 70 nations represents the entire world. Now, remember, excuse me, remember in October or September 30th, there were 70 world leaders in Israel for the funeral of Shimon Peres. So this is the second time in a few months that this figure has come out, okay? And I think it came out the other day that this march they did, the March for Women's Rights, that started the day of the inauguration, that was taken and done in 70 nations. So you've got 70 nations, basically the entire world. I mean, 70 nations representing the entire world from the book of Genesis, from the Tower of Babel, when there were 70 nations representing the entire world. You've got the entire world then marching for women's rights, the right to kill their babies. So this is the entire world is Antichrist now. I mean, we've got the entire world against godly principles, and these are signs of judgment. The division of Jerusalem, 70 nations gathering against Israel, 70 nations, the entire world marching for the right to kill babies. I mean, these are signs, okay? These are signs. Okay, so now we need to go back and look at this November 16th sign as the birth, confirmed by the Revelation 12 sign as Jupiter was just entering Virgo, okay? So this was the birth event. It's also the reason that Obama needed to be in Berlin, okay? Some of these things I'm just now getting understanding of. Was not until Thursday, January 19th, that this final revelation came to me from the Lord when he gave me the understanding of the number of days of a birthing ritual, which we're going to be looking at right now. But Obama needed to be in Berlin. Okay, let's look at it this way. Berlin is to the Antichrist as Bethlehem is to Jesus, okay? It's the birthplace. Berlin is the home of the throne of Satan, the Pergamus altar of Zeus. Obama needed to be here for the birthing process. Just as Jupiter, Zeus, Jupiter and Zeus are one, was entering Virgo. So we've got the altar of Zeus, Obama in Berlin at the altar of Zeus, in the city of the altar of Zeus. Okay, and the Jupiter, Zeus, was just entering Virgo. So we've got a conjunction of signs here. Okay, now what was revealed to me just a few days ago? There's a birthing ritual before presentation in the temple. Jesus fulfilled the 7 days, was circumcised on the 8th day, and then 33 days later was presented in the temple. Luke 21 through 24, there were 40 days for the male child. Then Luke 2 sends us to Leviticus 12 to be able to understand the ritual according to the law of Moses. Luke 2:22 says that according to the law of Moses. So we find this. We have to search this out. Leviticus 12, 1 through 5 says this, the ritual after childbirth. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel. If a woman has conceived and borne a male child, then she shall be unclean 7 days, as in the days of her customary impurity, she shall be unclean. On the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. She shall then continue in the blood of her purification 33 days. She shall not touch any hallowed thing, nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purification are fulfilled. Okay, so male child, 7 days plus 33 days. Okay, but if she bears a female child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her customary impurity, and she shall continue in the blood of her purification 66 days. So we have the male child, Jesus the Messiah, 7 days plus 33 days, 40 days with an 8th day circumcision. Okay, now the Antichrist needs to fulfill the same days that Jesus fulfilled. This is part of the Antichrist prophecy. Everything that the Messiah did, the Antichrist needs to do. Okay, on a opposite or on a reverse scale, right? It's the imposter, right? He's the imposter. So, okay, so we have the female child. And we can know this by two ways. Number one, it's the number of days. 66 days is the number of the Antichrist. Then we have the fact that the Antichrist has no desire for women. So he's a gay, effeminate spirit Antichrist. Okay, this is confirmed by the Muslim prophecy that the Mahdi will come in the spirit of a girl. Okay, these things you can search out and figure out. Okay, and this is part of the Muslim prophecies. Put that in a search and confirm it. The Muslim Mahdi will come in the spirit of a girl. Okay, so we've got 14 days plus 66 days. So we've got our birthday. November 16th, 2016. Now, what is that birthday? The birthday is 111616. Okay, turn that over. 919111. Okay, for those that think that Jesus was born on 9/11, well, here you go. Here is the birth on the exact opposite day. Instead of 9/1, it's the same day upside down. 111616. 919111. Okay. Well, that's the birthday. Well, okay, then you go 14 days. Do we have an event? Okay. And this became so clear to me once I saw this 14-day event. This 14-day event was the division of Jerusalem on November 30th, 2016. Okay. That is the cutting off of the flesh. It's the counter circumcision event. 14 days after the birth, just as it says, there will be 14 days. Then there will be 66 days. So from November 30th, we go 66 days and we come to February 4th, 2017. And this to me seems to be the presentation in the temple. Just as Jesus was presented in the temple after 40 days, okay, then when the female child is done with the purification rites, then they present offerings in the temple, okay? So we've got our February 4th, 2017. This to me seems like it will be the fulfillment of when he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, 2 Thessalonians 2:4, on February 4th, 2017. Now, okay. If February 4th is the final day of Daniel's timeline, and this represents this fulfillment of 2 Thessalonians 2:4, then we will have many, many signs that will be going with this to show us, okay, that this is the case. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and start now presenting to you the evidence that I've found so far, and I've only had a few days to do this. I just got this final understanding on the 19th of January. I knew before the inauguration, we were all wondering if the inauguration was going to go through, if there was going to be an event like Trump being killed or something. I mean, people were, we were all wondering what is going to happen, how is this going to all play out, right? Okay, well, I knew from Thursday night that Trump had to get in, and then from there, the Lord was revealing to me how this is going to play out, or at least it's bringing us to February 4th, okay? So, what else do we have happening on or around February 4th? Super Bowl 51 is February 5. So, focusing on these two dates has opened up an amazing list of signs that all stack upon each other and give incredible weight to what I am sharing. Okay, so let's focus on February 4th and 5th, 2017, Super Bowl 51 weekend. Okay? February 4th is 66 days from the division of Jerusalem. November 30th plus 66 days, February 4th, 2017. Resolution 2334, adding the inverse of that is 6666, and it's 66 days to February 4th. Then, February 4th is 44 days from December 23rd, the UNSC vote. 1223 plus the inverse of that, 3221, is 4444. And that's 44 days. Okay? Now, here's a movie clip. I'm not going to show this right now, but there's a movie clip from the movie Oblivion, and it shows the last Super Bowl as 2017. Okay? Oblivion. It's the LI for 51 is in the movie title. Obvian, lie, an obvious lie. Obviously, LI, Super Bowl, obviously Super Bowl 51. Okay? And it's clear as day, they show which Super Bowl is the last Super Bowl, 2017. They show that in the movie. Okay, the title Oblivion means the fact or condition of not remembering, a state marked by lack of awareness or consciousness, the condition or state of being forgotten or unknown. Okay, in that clip, there's a robot. It's robot 166, or upside down is 991. and it says back online. So if that represents the mark of the beast, then the mark of the beast is going to go. It's going to go. Part of their takedown is the mark of the beast, okay? The mark of the beast is back online. Then I have a movie clip here. I'm not going to show this either, but you can watch this in my document. Click on the link in the description box, get to this document. You can watch all the clips, and then I've got all the other links here for you to find everything you need, okay? So we've got this clip from Dark Knight Rises. Then we have another clip from the Game of Thrones, The Red Wedding, okay? Dark Knight Rises and The Red Wedding. And they both, the Red Wedding episode shows that the king in the north arises, okay? Dark Knight Rises was a movie, and the king in the north arises is a phrase that was used in the show Game of Thrones. Both of these two refer to the Antichrist rising up, okay? This refers to Revelation 17:8. It ascends out of the bottomless pit. It rises, okay? The beast you saw was and is not and will ascend out of the bottomless pit and go to perdition. Those who dwell on earth will marvel, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they see the beast that was and is not and yet is, okay? So the beast, the Antichrist beast, was in power, is not in power, and yet is, which means he'll come back into power. So don't be fooled by everything that is happening. And not only Donald Trump just came in, but we also had a new Secretary General on January 1st at the United Nations. So one of those two situations or positions, we will see Barack Obama coming back and fulfilling this prophecy where he will return from the abyss, okay? So Dark Knight Rises shows the total takedown of society from the day of the Super Bowl. Okay, that's a huge detail. Then we got the Game of Thrones shows that the king in the north arises from the Red Wedding. Okay, the king in the north arises from the Red Wedding. Okay. Now I'm going to come back to this clip here because I need to let it load. But in this clip, Obama says, the last White House Correspondents' Dinner, this is perhaps the last White House Correspondents' Dinner. Then he says, the end of the Republic has never looked better. And then he says, it will be like a red wedding. Okay? Let's watch this clip together and see what this says, okay?
Good evening, everybody. It is an honor to be here at my last, and perhaps the last, White House Correspondents' Day. You all look great. The end of the Republic has never looked better. Of course, in fact, 4 months now, congressional Republicans have been saying there are things I cannot do in my final year. Unfortunately, this dinner was not one of them. But on everything else, it's another story. And you know who you are, Republicans. In fact, I think we've got Republican Senators Tim Scott and Cory Gardner. They're in the House, which reminds me, security, bar the doors. Judge Merrick Garland, come on out. We're going to do this right here, right now. It's like the Red Wedding.
Pretty funny, huh? Got everybody laughing on that one. Just like a red wedding, everybody thinks it's a joke. But the Dark Knight Rises shows that they have to take down society for the Dark Knight to rise up. And the Game of Thrones shows the red wedding where there's a slaughter, and it's through that the Dark Knight rises. So it's this event that has to take place for the beast to come out of the abyss. Okay, these are the signs that are they're leaving. Okay, these are the signs on their side of the way things have to play out. Okay, then we go on and we see that in the movie The Dark Knight Rises, they flash this number in the booth where the mayor is, 322, and this booth gets blown out then in the clip. But this is the number 322. It's the number for the Skull and Bones. It's the date of the Hitler Enabling Act of 1933. It's the date of the Obamacare signing. 322 is the date of the Georgia Guidestones. And it was the date of the abomination of desolation. Obama and Israel defiling the birthplace of Jesus Christ and signing an agreement with Israel, the unbreakable alliance. Then March 22nd, 2013, you've got the two numbers there. March 22nd is 322. Then you've got the year is 13. Those are huge Illuminati numbers. 3 times 22 is 66. And then after the Obama Unbreakable Alliance, Israel has now been divided. Okay. Now, I want to come back to this clip and watch. Okay, I got to let it load. It's loading fast. Okay, let's go. How is this for weird now? Okay. Donald Trump, in his inauguration speech, quotes the villain Bane from Dark Knight Rises. Okay? Let's watch this. You guys decide what this could mean. Okay?
Oppressors of generations who have kept you down with myths of opportunity, and we give it back to you, the people.
But we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people. The people.
Oppressors of generations who have kept you down with myths of opportunity, and we give it back to you, the people.
But we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people.
Okay, so then you have you realized now that Donald Trump always uses this 666 sign? This is his trademark hand gesture. Okay, it's 3 6s. So he's not what people think he is and what they want him to be. I mean, Obama from the very beginning was a hater of the Bible and a lover of the Quran. And people don't want to see that he is not a Christian. And people who listen to Joel Osteen said Obama is a great Christian man, okay? Well, we need to have wisdom, understanding, discernment, the gifts of the Holy Spirit, the power of God in our lives to be able to filter through all the lies that are being handed us, okay? These are all lies that are being handed us. So we've got this, I mean, Hollywood scripted inauguration speech, guys, from Donald Trump. So, okay. Now, how about this connection from the date of The Dark Knight Rises movie release? July 20th, 2012. Okay, Dark Knight Rises. Remember, this is the Antichrist rising. So everything around this movie is symbolizing the rise of the beast, the rise of the Antichrist, coming back from the bottomless pit. Okay, the July 20th, 2012 movie release date, and also the date of the Aurora, Colorado shooting. Remember the Aurora, Colorado shooting at the at the at the at the viewing, at the first previewing of the movie. Okay, and it says that in the Century 16 theater, there's another 16 for you. There were 12 people killed and 70 wounded. Okay, what did Jesus do? Jesus called 12 apostles, and he sent out 70 disciples. What does the Antichrist do? He kills 12 people from the Dark Knight Rising premiere. He kills 12 people and injures 70. Okay, these are numbers that they put up here, and they control in the media to have this displayed this way, okay? The Antichrist does the works of his father. The thief does not come except to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and they may have it more abundantly. Now, what about the number of days from July 20th, 2012 to February 5, 2017? Okay, from the premiere of the release of the Dark Knight movie and the Aurora, Colorado theater shooting to Super Bowl 51, 1,661 days. Okay, so we've seen the robot in Oblivion 166. The November 16th is 11/16/16. Then we've got 1,661 days. Okay, so we see these patterns. Then you reverse that, and you've got the 919-111, 991-1991. Okay, now how about this? And this is one of the biggest, one of the biggest proofs of all of everything that we're sharing here about their plans for Super Bowl Sunday. February 5th on the Hebrew calendar is 9/11. Sunday, February 5th, 2017 is the 9th of Shabbat, the 11th month on the Hebrew calendar, 9/11. Okay. Super Bowl LI. Okay. Got the Illuminati eye on top of a pyramid. And it's also upside down is 17. So you've got LI 17, February 5th, 2017. It's Super Bowl 1717. 17 is a huge number, most associated with the flood. So there's a lot of people that watch always the number 17. So this is a Super Bowl 51 is a double 17. February 5th is day 36 of the year. 6 times 6. Okay, everything we've got here is revealing the Antichrist. These are numbers that reveal the Antichrist. Okay, and the connection here. Then we've got the Super Bowl in Houston. Houston, we have a problem. That's from Apollo 13. Okay, 13 is the Illuminati number. Apollo is another name for Apollyon, and the coming up from the abyss. Okay, 2017 is 13 years from the last Super Bowl in Houston. Okay, another connection to Houston with the number 13. Then we've got 2017 is 33 years from 1984. Okay. Now, Super Bowl 51. 2017 minus 51 is 1966. So there you've got 1966 again repeated. These same numbers recurring. First NFL season was 1966. Okay, it was the American Football League before that or whatever, I don't know. I can't remember. But 1966 was the first NFL. Super Bowl was 1967. Okay, but Super Bowl 51. What about this one? Area 51. How about that? Is this their sign for their alien abduction? And this is why they named Area 51. Okay. See, John Kerry recently said that the New World Order started in 1945. Okay, so don't think that these things haven't been planned for not only years, but for decades, maybe for centuries, maybe from the beginning of time, once the code was broken by the enemy. You know, everything he's got now is all planning to leave signs toward this, toward what they have going here. February 4th and 5th, 2017, Super Bowl weekend. Okay, and Leviticus 12, 1 through 7 shows that at the end of the days, the Antichrist will be presented in the temple. Okay, this is what I am seeing. This is what I am wondering how this will play out. We don't know, but we watch. And if this is the timing of the presentation in the temple, then we have, the fulfillment of 2 Thessalonians 2:4 of him sitting in the temple. Now, what would happen if that happened on February 4th or 5th, where he would sit in the temple and showing himself that he is God? Okay, what would happen next? Okay, what would happen after this? Well, we have to read on. If we read on 2 Thessalonians 2, 5 through 7, it says, "Do you remember that when I was still with you, I told you these things? And now you know what is restraining, that he may be revealed in his own time. For the mystery of lawlessness is already at work. Only he who now restrains will do so until he is taken out of the way." So it seems to me the connection of the restrainer being taken out of the way when the Antichrist sits in the temple. So we don't know the timing. I am not declaring rapture on February 4th or 5th, okay? I want to make that clear. I'm just trying to show you the signs. I'm just trying to share with you what the Lord has given to me. And, it's just going to happen. It's going to happen when it happens. We don't know how and when exactly, but what we can do is we can follow the signs, just like the Magi followed the star and somehow, some way, found the little manger in Bethlehem to worship the king, okay? They followed a star and they somehow ended up in Bethlehem to worship the king, okay? So we're following the signs, okay? These are the signs. Jesus said, when you see the abomination of desolation, according to Daniel, okay? So according to what I see, right, is that these are the signs that we are supposed to look for, okay? And this is bringing us to his coming. Now, what happens after this? It could be rapture. We don't know the moment, but we see it coming. Now, okay, remember how all this is connected from the day of the Super Bowl to the division of Jerusalem, right? The division of Jerusalem. And it's connected by 66 days. Do we see any other connections between the United Nations and the National Football League? Okay, let's look at the chamber of the United Nations Security Council. Some people have expressed this as like the holy of, or the unholy of unholies. This is like the inner court of the temple. Then you've got the General Assembly, which is the outer court. Okay, and if the United Nations is going to have a world leader rise up, they would do it out of the Security Council. Well, what do we have here? We have the phoenix rising with a football at its head. Okay, this is the United Nations Security Council. The football, or the egg, is the centerpiece in the United Nations Security Council. Okay. So we have the phoenix rising. And the football is an egg, and it represents the birth of a new race. Okay? Well, Lady Gaga, a few years ago, brought out at the Grammys the egg. She came in onto the stage in an egg. And then she did her interviews, and they asked her what it was all about. And she said, it's the birth of a new race. Well, who's singing this year at the Super Bowl? Lady Gaga is singing at the Super Bowl. The birth of the new race. It's the egg. Okay? Then, Obama said he would return to nag Trump if needed from the sidelines. Okay? There's another key to understand that it could be from the Super Bowl weekend that his next move, okay, he'll be back from the sidelines. All right. Well, what's the moral of this story, guys? The moral of the story is they are ready. They know when. They know how. Remember, a few years ago at the Super Bowl, they told everyone to be prepared. And then they said, we are prepared to strike. Okay, we are prepared to strike. Through the Maserati commercial. We are prepared to strike. Okay. All right, guys. Now, how old will Obama be on February 4th, 2016? February 4th, 2016. From August 4th, 1961 to February 4th, 2017. It's 55 years and 6 months and 0 days. It's 55 and a half years to the day, which is 555. We've got 666 months to the day. 0 days. 666 months exactly. 55.5 years. 666 months, and 555 is the number for rapture, and 666 is the number for wrath. Okay? Just an odd coincidence here, guys? You tell me. Okay, now, this is just another sign, kind of a side note here, but this is pretty freaky. Black Sabbath has their tour called The End. Their final show is February 4th, 2017. It is Saturday. If this is the day that the beast rises from the abyss, I mean, they're showing here, this is the end. This is the article that came out with it. It says the end is near. And it says that when this tour concludes, it will truly be the end. It will truly be the end on February 4th, 2017. Black Sabbath. Wow. Okay. Now here's one more link that was just sent to me. Thank you, everybody that's helped put this together. And thank you for those that have sent me many different pieces of information. And but it said, this article here, there's a link button. It says that there will be 6.6 million people in Houston for Super Bowl, including tourists. Okay? Why 6.6? How can they calculate that? Why would that come out in the movie or in the news? Why would that number exactly be in the article? See, these are all controlled numbers. See, and that's 6.6 million. Is this a bad sign for Houston? An Obama red wedding in Houston with 6.6 million people. I'm sorry, guys. I had to share this. This is, we don't know what to expect, but there are bad things are about to happen. Bad things. I mean, look at the Black Sabbath cover. The world is in flames. And it all ends on February 4th, 2017. Okay? Now, just this morning, as I was in Mexico, guys, I'm in Mexico. I'm in Yucatan, Mexico. My wife and I had to go to Merida. We were on our way to Merida to do some paperwork for our orphanage. And we stopped to have breakfast at this little taco stand, okay? But on the TV was CNN. And they started talking about the doomsday clock and the nuclear warning that there is in the world based on all the different conflicts that are arising now because of Donald Trump's stance on many different things. And so they talked about the suitcase that the United States president holds. Okay, there's a suitcase that the United States president holds, and it is the nuclear capability with all the nuclear codes in this suitcase. Okay. And they talked about this in the middle of Mexico. CNN came on, and I'm sitting here over the last couple of days praying that my wife could, understand more of what I'm sharing, because it's gotten so hard to understand. It's gotten so. It's just kind of been dragged out so long. We've been at this for 4 years, trying to understand, trying to figure out. And so it's hard to know what's going to happen when, and it's just, we're trying to live our lives and put together everything we can to keep the orphanage going and to serve our family. And anyway, we're in the middle of Mexico. We're having breakfast at this little taco stand. And CNN mentions that one person in the whole world controls the fate of the entire world population because of this suitcase. And then they talked about the name of the suitcase, and it's called the nuclear football. Okay, it's the nuclear football. And guys, this morning, I'm on my way. I hadn't even thought of this. I hadn't even remembered this. But I'm on my way to Merida, and we're having breakfast, and this comes on the news. And how can I not share when this is the red wedding out of the Super Bowl? I don't know what else it could be or how, but I don't know. I don't want to speculate. I just want to share the signs and pray that everybody's ready, whatever they have to do, whatever they decide to do, whatever is going to be done, because it's written in the Word of God that great tribulation will come upon the world. Okay? Can you see what is happening? Don't get left behind. Prepare. Prepare now before it's too late, okay? And at the end of this message, I have the message that the Lord gave me to share on 12/12/12 when I got my sign in the sun with my family with 20 witnesses on my roof. And the Lord showed us a sign, and this was my call to this prophetic ministry. And this is the message that the Lord gave me to share. So I leave this with you, and let's just have a word of prayer to close. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for the opportunity to share this with your people, Lord. And only you know what will happen, when it will happen, and how it will happen. But, Lord, we want to be prepared. Help us to be worthy to escape the things that are going to be coming upon the entire world. Help us to be worthy to escape. We give you the glory and the honor, Lord. Let your name be glorified. Let every work of the enemy be destroyed. And God, bring victory to your people. We know when it's all said and done, every knee will bow, every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, guys, I pray that you are blessed tonight. I'm doing the best to share everything with you. And if you see what I see, time is short, guys. We only got one more week here. Please share this as much as you can and get the word out. Okay, God bless.